How we keep track of time matters. And if you're wearing a watch on your wrist, then how we keep track of time probably matters to you. Me too. And so I thought we'd talk a little bit about another rabbit hole of mine, which is time and the timekeepers. So, why we started keeping track of time and how started in Babylon in 2000 BC. And it was a clever idea. You planted a stick, observed the shadow, and declared the afternoon officially underway. And so, for nearly 2,000 years, the sundial was humanity's best attempt at measuring the day. And for the next 2,000 years, humanity would try to improve on this idea and, for the most part, fail because the sun is surprisingly difficult to outperform. And it all seems well enough until you remember that shadows change length depending on the season. So, an hour in winter is not going to be quite the same as an hour in the summertime. So, time was already complicated and had been for thousands of years, but it worked because you were very regional at the time. So, the sundial's greatest achievement wasn't necessarily precision, but it was visibility because time now had a shadow, and shadows are persuasive. And with that, sundial started to rule as the primary daylight timekeeper for the next 3,000 years. It wasn't until the 14th century that mechanical watches started to become good enough to be able to compete with that level of precision. And the level of precision that we're talking about is plus or minus 15 minutes a day. But again, in regional settings, it didn't matter as much because your plus minus 15 minutes was the same as everyone else's around you. If you like this, let me know. I will cover some water clocks and maybe a couple sundials next, but let's move into the 14th century and start talking about mechanical watches and their inventions, because that's when all this really started to take off.